Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to get into this. We are going to be getting into the Victorian Romantic Tarot by Karen Mahoney and Alex Ukalov at Baba Studios. This was definitely a deck that I tried to avoid for a long time. I was not sure if it was ultimately for me. And before we get into this, I'm going to take a little sidestep and talk about another Baba Studios created deck that I absolutely adore. So if you want to skip ahead to that, there will be timestamps down below if you want to get right into the Victorian Romantic. But before I do, I want to talk about another deck by them that really it knocked my socks off. So I want to talk about that, and then we're going to get into this one because to me it's relevant. So this would be my second Baba Studios deck, but it was the first one that I really completely lost my mind over, and it is the Alice Tarot. And there's a few reasons why I completely fell in love with this, but one of the reasons was actually the Guidebook. This was the deck that made me fall in love with Alice and her story. And for a lot of people, I think they were Alice fans before they fell in love with this, but this book was really, really well done. And one of the things that really excited me is that in the back, one of the things that Karen has included in here is the abridged story, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And along with the abridged story, you'll find there are thumbnails peppered throughout the story, little thumbnail graphics of the tarot card from the deck that is associated with this part of the story. And I thought that was such a brilliant idea. It was really creative, and it really showed me that this deck was going to be really strongly based on the story of Alice in Wonderland. And so I wanted to highlight this because, as far as I know, they always sell their deck separate from their bigger full-size guidebook. But this is nothing to sneeze at, and I think it comes with a lot of really great information. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes sort of stuff. They don't waste any effort or spare any, detail in creating these guidebooks. And this was the one that really sold me on Baba Studios in general. And then the deck quality itself is just great. But this is how standard Baba Studios or standard edition Baba Studios decks typically come. They come in a clamshell style box. It's really beautiful. And the card stock, and I'm doing this so that we can do a bit of a comparison, but the card stock of a Baba Studios deck is not what you expect. A lot of us will rave about it because it feels really smooth. It feels like a really high quality cardstock, but it is not a thick cardstock at all. I hope you can see. It's actually rather thin, or at least it feels thin compared to, I think, what the sort of indie deck standard tends to be, but it feels high quality, and I don't know how else to describe that besides to say that they shuffle really beautifully, and their decks are a little larger than standard, but they just handle really, really well. And the colors on the cards, there's good contrast. Like I could rave about it, but this deck I absolutely love. Again, this is the thing that made me fall in love with Alice and her story. And now I have several Alice things, but I wanted to talk about that because that was really the beginning of the story for me with Baba Studios. It was not my first Baba Studios deck. The Bohemian Gothic was actually my first, but this was the first one I truly fell in love with. And so I wanted to mention it. So when Victorian Romantic Tarot came up for, I believe it's third printing, I was like, I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no again. I feel like I would definitely regret it. One of the things, there's several things that set the Baba Studios decks apart, but I did go ahead and order the guidebook, the bigger guidebook, which is sold separately. And I'm so excited to dig into this because, again, there's going to be, I know, the quality to expect from this. And I know there's going to be a ton of behind the scenes information. So just for a quick glance, for example, here we have the Ace of Wands card, and then there's information about the original artwork that was used for this card. And you'll find that throughout. And it's one of the many details that I think is really special. So here we have an image for the Two of Pentacles. And then here's where it came from, right? And I love that kind of thing. So I'm really excited that I get to learn more and dig into this, but I'm probably not going to spend a ton of time in today's video going through this just to say that I'm excited to dig into it. I don't think I'd do it full justice, but we'll probably take a bit of a look. But I just wanted to kind of gush a little about the general quality and my experiences with Baba Studios decks first, and now we're going to get into it. So the very first thing that really stood out to me about this particular standard edition of the Victorian Romantic is that it comes in a gorgeous wooden box. Now, as you could see, typically these Baba Studios standard edition decks come in that clamshell style box, which is a really nice box, but nothing compared to this. Typically, you would only get a wooden box with a Baba Studios deck if you order their large, like special edition versions of the decks, which they do usually release as well. So this really excited me. I was like, well, I'm not passing that up. Look how special this is. It looks extra special. And when it arrived in the mail and I saw that the clasp was really like unique like this and really elegant, I was like, oh, this is nice. Like, it doesn't feel like something that was like slapped together. Obviously it wouldn't be. I mean, I know their quality by now. I'm not surprised, but I was also impressed. So this has a little push button latch, which is really quite nice. So I could play with that all day. So I'm definitely not going to be putting this deck into a bag. It's going to sit on my shelf because it's just a gorgeous piece all by itself. And I love this sort of cherry colored wood or wood stain. I'm excited. Okay. And then we open it up. You can tell that it has been stained or painted or whatever you maybe painted. I don't know. Somebody who knows wood can tell me. And then it does come with a little white book. So it comes with a little white book because this bigger book is sold separately. And the little white books typically do have, looks like there's some spreads in here, but they typically do have some keywords and a basic message, but they don't go very deep. Obviously, this is meant to get you using the deck, but it doesn't give you all the behind the scenes kind of stuff. And as per usual, the deck has been designed by Karen Mahoney and illustrated by Alex Ukalov. So there's some social media links here. This is our title card. Now, this is one of the things that we're going to talk about real quick. One of the defining features of a Papez Studios deck, and they have released some decks without this feature, but is they do cold foil stamping. Now, I talk about this cold foil stamping a little bit in my Ultimate Guide to Cardstock video, which I will try to remember to link up in the info box up in the top right there, and in the description box, as long as I don't forget. But the interesting thing about cold foil stamping is that every single bit of cold foil stamping has to be templated out in advance. This is the kind of thing where they can't, each individual card with this special foil accenting on it has to be like pre-designed. Like, this is not an inexpensive process. It's a really luxurious thing to add. And the neat thing about cold foil stamping is it doesn't physically like press the card in the same way that a hot foil stamp would. So you don't, even though the cards are kind of thin, oh, look at these backings. Even though the cards feel kind of thin, you don't get any kind of impressions at all on the card. It's perfectly smooth and silky. There's no texture. And that's something that's unique to cold foil, to the best of my knowledge. So it's a really elegant touch, and you're going to see there's a ton of cold foil stamping all throughout the artwork. And I think it's just worth mentioning that all had to be specifically designed that way. It's not like they could just say to the printer, oh yeah, so all the yellow, just do this, all the red, just do this. Like, they specifically had to tell the printer where they wanted the cold foil stamping, what color they wanted that cold foil stamping. I mean, it's just, the detail to create something like this is just, it's mind-boggling. But anyway, I'm gushing because I'm really excited. So the thing about the Victorian Romantic Tarot is that it is a curated art deck that has been, I think they've retouched or add color in some cases. I know they've done quite a bit of work to the actual design of the cards, but these are based on existing pieces of artwork. So there's a curation aspect to it. And it feels to me very grown up, which is the main reason I was like, I don't know, is this one for me? I'm not sure. But needless to say, it does have a soft kind of romantic feel to it. And I'm excited to see how it might end up working for romance style readings. But I already know that this cardstock will hold up well to lots and lots of shuffling. Okay, we're going to just dip into it. So because it's curated art, I'm going to have a kind of a critical eye to make sure that I can see the meaning of each card in, well, each card. So we begin with our Fool, and here we have an actual jester type creature who's up on a pedestal, performing, being silly. And we do have a little dog down here to the right, which is amazing. I love that feature. Look at our magician. I just love that there's this pentagram down on the ground. We get this feeling that he's doing magic. There's this censer hanging here. It does have a very magical feel, which I appreciate. So let's take a moment to appreciate the cold foil here. All of that metallic, look at that. It's really pretty, but when you look at the card head on, it looks like a regular tarot image. And then you kind of shift it into the light and you get all of this reflect. It's incredible. I don't know if I showed it for the Fool. There we go. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay. This High Priestess is absolutely gorgeous. She immediately reminds me of the Oracle of Delphi. And I'm flipping through the book again because now I'm curious. Is she meant to be the Oracle of Delphi? Nope. It's just it's based on an original painting titled Incantation. Well, I mean, that's appropriate. I just love her. I love that we have the pillars here. And again, I don't know how much of that was added to the image because there is an element to this, an element of really smooth, smooth is what I say, seamless kind of collage work to a lot of Baba Studios artwork. So I don't know how much of this has been layered in that way, but it's really, really gorgeous. And there's all of our gorgeous stamping. The Empress. Well, this is just an incredible Empress image. I have no complaints. Like, it's just beautiful. Very nurturing and mothery. Oh, the cards are sliding a little bit. They're not terribly slippery, but they are smooth. Here we have the Emperor, and I love this. I love that he's sort of being attended to. I love the alchemical reference in the background. It looks like there's some things happening there, which is super cool. Oh, wait a minute. I was like, wait, we just had the Emperor. There's our cold foil. So we have an alternative Emperor. Oh, man, which one do I like better? I kind of like the purple-robed Emperor, but I do really like the color association of red with the Emperor. I think for now, plus he's holding a staff. I don't know. I think I might go with the red-robed. Is he wearing a red robe or is he in a red chair? I can't quite tell. I think it's his robe. Anyways, I think I'm going to stick with this Emperor and pull this one out of the deck for now. I wonder how many of those they're going to be in the deck. I don't know. Okay, so now we have our Hierophant. He is amazing. He looks so much like a teacher. I love this vibe so much. And again, there's our cold foil. The Lovers. Oh, this is so like chaste and sweet. And this is what I knew. I knew there was going to be an alternate here. So I really do enjoy this Lovers card. Look at all that cold foil. Oh, but this image is everything. I adore this image. So I'm definitely going to be sticking with this one. But these are both really beautiful. And they definitely have different feels. The Chariot. Oh, it's like we have these like, what are these creatures? Look at the teeth on them. Check those out. Oh my gosh, the stamping. It's like a shiny thing. I'm literally like a magpie right now. Oh, I love this choice for strength. That is beautiful. And I know I'll reach for it because of the shiny. It's a shiny thing. It's not like other grown-up decks. This one has shine. This Hermit is absolutely beautiful. I keep checking to see if there's another alternative card. I probably need to get over that. But I love this. I love that he's got his lantern there that looks like an hourglass in his hands. He looks like Father Time. I really love that. Did I show? I guess I don't have to do it on every single one, but it's so pretty. The Wheel of Fortune. So this is really great because it shows somebody literally bringing, it looks like a commoner almost, bringing him a crown. Like this is the kind of fortune that this card typically will represent, like a change in fortune. There's an opportunity, right? There's a turn of fate, often in your favor, but the wheel is always turning, right? I just really like that image for the Wheel of Fortune. It really works for me. Ugh. Justice. This is great. No complaints. I love her flowing red hair. That is everything. The Hanged Man. This is so trippy to me. It's so great because it literally looks like she's walking like almost with suction cup special shoes or something upside down on this plank or whatever it is at like a circus. Cool. Death. Oh, okay, so it took me a second. I was so focused on the figures down here. I was like, well, where's the figure of death? And it's up here, coming with the scythe. That is a potent image. Temperance is gorgeous. The gold and the silver cup. There's a nod to alchemy there. Again, I'm sure there must be some elements of collage in here to give us the elements we need symbolically. Again, with the gorgeous red hair. The Devil. Now, there are alternate devils, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there are. This one's trickier for me because I really love both of these devil cards. But I think I really like the idea of the sort of temptress devil here with all of her jewels and her roses and the bag of gold at her feet. Yeah, I really like her. So I think I'm going to keep her in the deck. But this one is also amazing. This one feels a lot more like a Garden of Eden. Like a Garden of Eden kind of reference. So I think I like the Temptressy. Ugh, yeah, they're so good. But yeah, I'm going to stick with that one. I have seen this tower many a time, and I love it. I love the shipwreck vibe. I think that's so appropriate for the tower card. Yeah, like everything's been torn asunder. We're feeling like we're floating around in the sea. Like we don't know how things are going to be. Oh my gosh, this star is so pretty. Oh my goodness. She's gorgeous. I love her. The moon. I'm just going to keep picking up the cards. I hope that's okay, but I'm just excited. The sun. I love that we get the feeling like we're in a garden. I love all the gold foiling. I love the way that the metal here at the front of the horse shines and the little, I don't know what you call this. I want to say barding. I don't know if that's right, but the you know, the decorative elements on the horse. Oh, so pretty. Judgment. Is there more than one of these? No. Okay, I think we might be through all the alternate cards. This is stunning. Gosh, this is just a beautiful, beautiful deck. The World. At the time I'm filming this, there is still stock available of the standard edition. I haven't checked to see if there's still stock available of the limited edition. I love this World card so much. But it is one of those ones that you probably don't want to sleep on. Once they do go out of print, they tend to stay out of print for a long time. I don't know if this will be their final printing of this deck. I haven't looked into it one way or another. Anyway, we are into the minors now, and we have, this looks like, oh gosh, who is the one? Is it Perseus who brought light to humanity? That's what this reminds me of. With this angel coming down with the flame. So pretty. Perfect for the Ace of Wands when you think about inspiration and, okay. The Two of Wands. I love her sort of looking out over the distance there. There's this idea of sort of planning, considering possibilities that I really enjoy in that card. And the Three of Wands, he's playing music there on the shore. So we often think of this card as like waiting for our ship to come in. But to me, it's when we're finally taking those first tangible steps towards whatever it is that we're working on or our goal, that sort of thing. And I think that's beautiful. The Four of Wands, often a celebration, often a milestone or a moment when we're pausing to sort of take in what we've done so far. It's like a mini completion kind of moment. I love this parrot up here, the top there. The Five of Wands, where we have this element of competition. Nice choice here for the artwork. The Six of Wands, again, very classic. This is very Rider-Waite-Smith based, right? So we have the sort of conquering hero coming back, getting all that external recognition. Love this Seven of Wands. All the spears pointing at him, and he is holding his own. And the Eight of Wands. It's like he just has thrown a javelin or something. Oh. This is such a tired, this is such a mood, this Nine of Wands. It just really speaks to what the Nine of Wands feels like. Like we've just been toiling or working or protecting, and we're tired, but we're kind of pushing through. And the Ten of Wands. So it looks like she's holding a baby in a bassinet, but then she's also got this big load of wood that she's carrying. And there's another child, it looks like, with her also helping her carry. So a lot happening there. Page of Wands. I love the facial expression on this character. That is amazing. The Knight of Wands. Such a charmer. The Queen of Wands. Oh yeah. All the sass and taking no flack. She's amazing. I love her. And King of Wands. Yes, I love how he's surrounded by music. You know, I get the idea that the King of Wands is a character that would appreciate a scene like this, that would appreciate being surrounded by inspiring and beautiful things. We're into the cups. Oh, yay. Okay, so this must be Aphrodite and, oh gosh, Eros, I think it is. What a beautiful image. Underwater, she's in the shell. Oh, that's gorgeous. Can we appreciate all the bling again? Oh, the Two of Cups. I love the tenderness here, the little cups of wine. Oh yeah, this would be lovely to reach for romance readings. Three of Cups. All the revelry here. This reminds me of, I guess it looks like, what do you call it? I want to say like a bawdy house. I'm literally, you guys, I don't ever take my words as correct. Because I'm pretty sure I'm using the wrong ones most of the time. But that's fun. That's a fun scene. And the Four of Cups. There's a few things I see in this image, and it kind of excites me. On one hand, you could, if you were looking for it, see the boredom, the not seeing what it is you have right in front of you, or not seeing what's being offered because you only see what you already have kind of thing. I could see that if I wanted to. But what I actually see is these girls kind of flirting with or trying to catch this man's attention, but he's only got eyes for this woman here, the one he's presumably with. And so it could speak to that emotional stability, the stability of the relationship, things being in a pretty solid place. Perhaps maybe a lack of understanding or gratitude gratitude from both people in the equation, but I could read this in either way, which I really appreciate. The Five of Cups. Oh, I'm not fully sure what's happened here, but she almost looks like a grieving mother or widow or something, like as if she's tried to get something acknowledged. I don't know what it is I'm seeing. It's like I have a whole story playing out in my head and I don't know how to articulate it, but we do have the 3 spilled cups and we do have the 2 remaining cups, which is perfect. The 6 of Cups. This is delightful. Look at these characters. Oh, they're wonderful. The 7 of Cups. Okay, what is happening here? Is he fishing? So he's definitely fishing. That is definitely a fishing pole. And it looks like he's got this little pile of treasures, but some of the treasures, so he's got like a little painting thing here. This is interesting because it immediately makes me think he just keeps fishing, looking for something, but he has all this stuff beside him that he's not like necessarily appreciating, but he's still out there looking for something more, something different. Very interesting to me. Interesting perspective for sure on the 7 of Cups. The 8 of Cups, we have our planters or our cups here all neatly lined up, and she's leaving, but she's got a tissue to her eyes. I think this is an interesting point because a lot of times the 8 of Cups is not an easy departure, right? Often we're leaving something that we thought would really fill our cups, but it turns out it hasn't, and it's not always an easy thing to realize. Well, we've got a dude who's got a lot of wine. Again, you guys know, I wish these cards were depicted a little bit differently, but I love all the colors in his outfit, and I love how he's looking in his, it looks like a stein, like maybe realizing just how much he has. I don't know. I'm wondering how to spin this one. We'll see. I'll have to take a look at the guidebook. This is one of my sort of like deal breaker cards, so I wish I liked it a little more than I do, but I'm always looking for something other than a dude with a bunch of wine, you know, so that's me. And the 10 of Cups. Here we have the celebration of a new birth. All the generations present. Love that. Our Page of Cups. Oh. So this looks like a musical instrument, maybe. I have no idea. I can't wait to read about this. But I do get that feeling of like somebody who's a little, she's holding the cup here, but she looks a little dreamy and hopeful. The Knight of Cups. This is very appropriate. Just being adored upon by all of these ladies. We have such a charmer here. Look at all the shine. So pretty. I've always loved this image of the Queen of Cups. I think she's really elegant and lovely. Love all the flash. Oh. Even like the individual book is outlined, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's as if certain ink on the page is actually highlighted specifically. It's just the detail in the cold stamping it's unlike anything, you know, I've ever seen on anything else. The King of Cups in his cups for sure. Love him. Okay, we're into the swords. We have our Ace of Swords. Oh, I love all the shine, but I love this like purple ribbon wrapped around the sword there. Considering. I love the perspective too, being high up in the wings and the bird over here. You really get the feeling of air in the card. Wonderful 2 of Swords. Love the tumultuous sea behind her. 3 of Swords. I wonder what this is at her feet. I really just cannot wait to get into the guidebook for this. The 4 of Swords. Definitely having a rest away from the battle. The 5 of Swords. This looks like a couple of childhood bullies, hey? They're just picking on him. Looks like these 2 are picking on this child. Aww. The 6 of Swords. Gosh, they did such a wonderful job curating artwork that really feels like the meaning of the cards. The 7 of Swords. I mean, this is classic. Classic 7 of Swords. Sneaky sneak action happening here. The 8 of Swords. And look at her. She is like the epitome of drama. She's like, her arms or her wrists are bound barely. She could easily slip her hands out of that. And she's just like, poor me. I'm so trapped. I'm so stuck. Snap out of it. The 9 of Swords. Oh, she looks like she's trying to escape. Like sneak out somewhere in the middle of the night. Oh, 10 of Swords. This is really beautiful. So we have this figure here who has perhaps succumbed. I don't know. But if you look in the waves, there's this woman figure, like a sea goddess or something, that's kind of wrapping her arms around him to sort of pull him maybe wake him up and help him, or maybe we could see pulling him into the sea, depending on how you want to look at the card. But that's a really beautiful Ten of Swords. Now, I can't compare with any previous editions. I don't actually know if there are any artwork changes to this edition versus previously. Those of you who have another edition, I would love to hear from you in the comments down below if you've noticed or spotted any artwork changes, because I would have no way to know that. But here is our gorgeous Page of Swords. Oh, the detail in her gown. Knight of Swords. Looks like he's rushed in to save a damsel in distress, but maybe hasn't quite fully thought through the ramifications of his actions. Queen of Swords looks pretty badass. King of Swords. He looks a little like, I don't want to say defeated, but I prefer my King of Swords to look a lot more like, I don't know, angular in his posture, like a lot more like upright and confident. I'll have to think about that one. Oh, look at this Ace of Pentacles. Look at the curtain behind her. Like, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. It's so pretty. So she's got a apron full or dress full of goodies, little yellow flowers, it looks like. So pretty. Look at this Two of Pentacles. So we have a jester and we have maybe a dancer, a little dog trainer here. Bunch of things happening. I want to read about this one. I'm curious about that one. Usually you see the kind of juggling situation happening, but here we've got the guy in the jester's hat in the back. Three of Pentacles. This is it looks like a master craftsman teaching, perhaps sharing his knowledge with the younger generation. Four of Pentacles. What? Oh, she's holding a fan, or he's holding a fan. I'm not sure what's happening. He's like holding onto his treasure, holding onto a fan. Looks a little bit like hesitant to leave it, to not be in contact with it. Five of Pentacles. It's like they're selling little floral arrangements maybe, or little Bridget crosses on the sidewalk, trying to turn their fate around, but there is a door there. You get the idea. If you want to read this in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, that there's help if they just go into the door. It's there for you. The Six of Pentacles has a strong sort of charity vibe, which is super common for a Rider-Waite-Smith style depiction. I love this Seven of Pentacles. So she's sort of checking and seeing what the status of her roses is. And status of her roses is? Yes, that's correct. Roses, I know, do take a very particular care. So you could see this is a rose, someone who really cares a lot for her little rose garden, and she puts a lot of effort in, and she wants to see that the blooms turn out the way that she's hoping. The Eight of Pentacles, we definitely have mastery of craft here with the potter or the pottery artist. This Nine of Pentacles definitely has that luxury feeling going on. Love her outfit. The Ten of Pentacles, all that abundance all the way around, very successfully built up, right? The family business or the family farm, or however you want to look at that. Then we have our Page of Pentacles, our Knight of Pentacles. So cool. Very much that knight in shining armor kind of vibe, which is exactly how I sort of see the Knight of Pentacles. He's very studious and responsible and, you know, would be valiant. Love that. Queen of Pentacles. Oh, I love this. I love how she's teaching her daughter to play chess, and there's the little cat here down at the bottom. I love that. And the King of Pentacles. Very, very regal. He looks like a King of Pentacles, right? So let's zoom out. I want to give these a shuffle because I'm just dying to, because Baba Studios decks are so lovely to shuffle. But before I do, I know there was a couple of cards I wanted to look up, so I'm going to pull out one of them. I think one of them was the Two of Pentacles. So I want to take a peek at that one, and I know there was another one. I'm trying to remember what one it was. I wouldn't mind taking a quick peek at the Nine of Cups. Anything else here really jumping out at me? No, I think that's good. Okay, so I'm going to pull those two aside. We're going to shuffle everything else. It's only out 2 cards. It'll be fine. Oh, you can tell that I haven't quite broken this one in the way I have my Alice Tarot. It's just a little bit stiffer than my Alice Tarot is, but my Alice Tarot has been shuffled so many times. And there's a really lovely, there's nothing like the smell of a Baba Studios deck, especially the smell of a Baba Studios book. It's like very, if you like the smell, oh my gosh, I just love it so much. I could literally just stick my nose in the book and just smell it. I know that's weird, but whatever. I mean, book sniffers unite, deck sniffers unite. I love that inky, rich inky smell. I'm getting a bit of that off the deck. That's something to be aware of, that there might be a little bit of quote unquote off gassing or something when you first get it, because of course the ink is relatively fresh on these. Oh, it smells so good though. Okay, stop shuffling. All right, I'm going to set that aside. Really, really lovely shuffle. Hopefully you got an idea. And of course it's going to be a gorgeous fan. It's a very smooth cardstock. But I want to take a look at the guidebook, and I want to take a peek at these two cards. So let's take a closer look here. So when you get into it, it's signed by Karen, which is wonderful. So there are some acknowledgments for this edition on page 4. So these are thank yous specifically for this particular edition. Some introduction information. Changes. So there's some cold stamping changes. So some introductory kind of stuff here. Short history of tarot, learning the tarot, reading styles and spread styles. So just regular sort of tarot-y information here that's really helpful. Some information about reading with the Victorian Romantic Tarot. Some spreads. And then we get into the actual pages about the cards. So typical to what Karen does in her books, you have keywords and phrases up at the top and some reversed keywords if you work with reversals. And then you get into the more in-depth information about the cards. So Karen doesn't spare anything here, right? Like, is very thorough. So here we have our Fool, and we discover that the Fool is actually, is he taunting a bull, or is that like a horse? That's a horse. So it's in the middle of a circus. Yeah, so that's like a pony. I don't know why I'm even trying to guess this. But anyway, so it gets into a little bit of the reason for the choice on the card. Gets into the meaning of the card. I love that about these decks. So that's what you're going to find, is several pages for every card. Usually at least it looks like 2. The High Priestess has this bit and then this bit in the back. But let's get into that 2 of Pentacles. So you get that through the majors. Oh, this book smells so good. Okay, so you get an idea of what kind of stuff you're seeing here, right? So let's get into the 2 of Pentacles. Here we go. Look at this image. So here you can actually see. So remember this Ace of Pentacles with the golden roses, I think it was, here in her gown. This is the card. This was the original artwork. So they made quite a few changes here to recolor the dress, to make the flowers more golden, to give that pentacles-y feel. They changed the color of the floor, you know, all this kind of stuff. So you can tell a lot of work went into these cards. So in the 2 of Pentacles, juggling many things at once. Oh, I'm zoomed in again, sorry. Juggling many things at once, keeping on your toes, multitasking and making it look easy, enjoying a little bit of chaos and risk. So it says, the young circus girl who trains her dog in this picture looks a mix of serious and playful. While she is concentrating hard on her task, at the same time she is almost dancing with delight at the fun of the whole process. Her companion watches on with a distinctly sardonic look, obviously ever so slightly skeptical that her efforts will succeed. The dog, it seems to be enjoying itself. After all, a circus dog's life is at least an interesting one. And it goes on from there. The 2 of Pentacles is the card of the juggler, the person who can manage many tasks at once and rather likes to show off this ability in front of other people. Kind of goes on from there. So quite a bit of information and a nod to the original artwork. So that makes a lot of sense. Let's take a look at our 9 of Cups. Where would cups be? Went right to it. The 9 of Cups. There's nothing complex about the 9 of Cups. It signifies pleasure in simple earthly things. Food, drink, good company, material and domestic comforts. In short, all the kinds of things you might find at your local pub, cafe, or in your own living room when you've invited friends or family around. In this picture, we see a man contentedly sitting in a cozy room at an inn, gazing into his large tankard of beer. Is it full or empty? Well, in the 9, which is quite unlike the 5 of Cups, the question isn't really important, as one way or the other he can always order another if or when he wants to. There is absolutely no hint of self-sacrifice in this picture. So it goes on from there. So that works. Well, let's do a little shuffle. Again, because I can't help myself. And let me just do a quick energy obstacle advice reading for the collective or for whoever needs it, just to kind of see what I can do intuitively with this deck. Energy obstacle advice. Energy obstacle advice. Energy, the Two of Cups, appropriate for the Victorian Romantic Tarot, I feel like. So the energy is around new connection or feeling like there's a harmonious relationship with yourself and with another. Maybe looking around you at the relationships in your life that are harmonious and recognizing that that is something that's already there. The obstacle is the Page of Swords. Be wary of perhaps overanalyzing or like looking for trouble where there isn't any. And advice, the Wheel of Fortune. So some good fortune coming your way. Be open to it. If your eyes are closed, if you're too busy like complaining about the things that aren't going right, or you're kind of mired in your own self-doubt, you're not going to see those opportunities when they come your way. So to be really open to those changes in fortune, make sure that you're aware of them, that your eyes are open and you're available to these new blessings that might come into your life. So that was just a quick little play, a little sample reading just to see how the deck feels, but those came pretty easy. I didn't feel like I had to work real hard for that, and there's enough happening in the images that I feel like I have lots and lots to work with. So with that, oh my goodness, let me give these a fan. I know they're going to fan beautifully. I already showed, but a fan. Oh wow, I got a little out of control there, guys. Let's try that again. Proper fan. Look! Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Now I have to spread it out though, because I was still a little wild. Oh, I'm bumping my camera too. So pretty. Okay. That, my friends, is the Victorian Romantic Tarot. Again, Baba Studios decks don't tend to stay in stock for a long, long time. So if this is one that has caught your attention, my advice is not to sleep on it. It may not be available later if you change your mind. But for now, this is just my initial thoughts. I'm really excited to kind of have this available for romance readings or just in general. It's a really, really beautiful deck. Feels extra special, and I can't wait to play with it a little bit more. I will definitely keep you guys posted once I've done some work with it in a more concentrated way. But for now, these are my initial impressions. Thank you so, so much for joining me. As always, I really appreciate you hanging out with me here. Please do, if you got any value out of this video, click the like button, subscribe if you're new here, and don't forget to hit the little bell for all notifications so you're notified when I go live and do other fun things, put up new videos, etc. here on the channel. Thank you all so, so much, and may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye, guys.